sitting here.
All right, and there we go.
And there it is.
Oh, at least the mic's working.
Well, that's good. Hopefully, I have it close enough to me that you can hear me. Hopefully. Yeah.
Well, actually, I need to fix your mic because it should be showing the same. So yeah, no, okay, mics aren't working. Yours isn't.
Mine's not working. Now it's working. Hi, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie.
Ta-da.
No, it's gonna sound weird.
Oh. Okay. How are you? You doing good? If that sounds weird, I apologize. Better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're doing good. We're just... Oh, we sound good.
Okay. It's just been technical difficulty after technical difficulty, so.
I was going to say, we've been struggling a little bit prior to streaming, so... It's also a little warm in here. I'm just saying.
Is it?
Yes, it is warm in here.
I am sorry. I didn't realize it was so warm.
I can't believe you're wearing a sweater right now. It's that warm.
Yeah, I'm not that warm. I'm not hot or anything.
I'm starting to sweat. Feel my forehead. Yeah. It's warm in here. Trust me. Oh, perfect. Awesome. Good stuff.
You know who else is starting to sweat? HBO. Feel like we didn't even plan on it. This is like episode 3, the reboot series. Talked about the Harry Potter reboots, talked about the Lord of the Rings, and now here we are with Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Might as
Song
well
of Ice and Fire.
get them all out of the way. We're going to talk about all of them, and then everyone will know our opinions, and then that's it until they all come out.
At all.
No, it wasn't. We were sitting here like, what are we going to talk about today? There are lots of things we could have done today, but we were just like, you know what? Let's talk about Martin. We haven't talked about Martin in a little bit. We haven't talked about Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, Fire and Blood, House of the Dragon, all that stuff. We just haven't really discussed it, but they've announced all of these shows, so we were like, all right, let's talk about it.
Right?
A bit. They've announced so many shows, they've canceled shows. House of the Dragon was so good, despite everyone's expectations, so everyone's just like, let's make more of these.
It's working. Quick, make more.
Yep.
Make money. Get us out of bankruptcy.
Even though they've greenlit a show based on another Song of Ice and Fire thing that Martin is writing that he also has not finished. But we'll get into that.
They're used to that.
It is pretty par for the course at this point, isn't it?
Better than the last few episodes? God, I hope so. I know they're talking about possibly canceling it, though, before it even gets off the ground.
Like I said, from season 5 on, the show just got progressively worse. Like, I seriously think if you watched season 5 of Game of Thrones, it would have hurt you personally.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, season 8 hurt me personally.
Feel about the Dorne plot, like in general, in the book.
The Dorne plot?
Like everything that all the stuff that happens in Dorne with like Eris Oakheart and Darkstar and like all that stuff.
I mean,
Like,
I thought it was great. I loved Oakheart. Getting his
Okay.
perspective
Hey, Ken.
until we no longer did.
Right. Okay. What are your Think of the sand snakes as characters.
I don't really know. I mean, we really didn't get a lot of them. 'Cause they were like the
I
last
guess
book we just got introduced.
how would you describe them? I guess would be my question.
I describe them like
Yeah. Like, are they like badass warrior women? Are they like how would you characterize them?
I mean, yeah, they're badasses. They're kind of like um Lady Oberon.
Lady Oberons?
Yeah.
Um they the show basically turned them into I don't want to use bad language.
Bunch of bees.
Not even a bunch of bees, but a bunch of bees that only care about what's between a man's legs and that's it.
Oh. So
Like
just
the one says this thing to Braun like when they leave and it just is it's such bad writing and I don't want to say it on here because I feel like I'm going to try not to swear. But there's a line that she says to Braun and it's just so crass and crude and awful and it's just like what? So the point is from season 5 on, like
say it with, Christian language.
a bad kitty.
That's it?
What's another word for kitty?
Well, I know, but
Yeah,
I'm saying that's
that's what
it.
it is.
That's all
But
she
she like
says.
looks at him and she goes, "You need a bad kitty." It's so bad. It's so stupid.
I thought it was gonna be something like really bad. Wow,
No,
that's like
it's within the context of the scene and who the character is. It's just terrible. Watching Veggie Gamer watch Goblet of Fire. Just about to start second task. Oh, Dan. Well, thank you for coming over here.
that's awesome. We'll have to check it out. Your reaction to House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I'm
So,
curious to see how you feel about it.
is this your first time watching, or did you watch it when it was like released, and just you're giving your opinion on it right now? Just before I say anything about the later on in the show. Time jumps, secretive acts. There's a few things. Those secrets. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, Dan. Oh, Catherine says she watched a Blu-ray BTS where the characters from the show narrate the lore from their houses. The Sand Snakes have a very interesting history and culture. Yeah, see, I think Dorne is very interesting and pretty cool when you actually learn about it. And then the show is just like, uh, yeah, we don't care about it. It's gonna suck.
Right. Like that's one of the reasons I really like the World of Ice and Fire, because you get to learn all that.
Heck
Like all
yeah.
the houses have really interesting pasts, but Doran is especially interesting because it's very different from the other houses.
Yeah, Dorne is very different from the other houses. They're like very progressive. They're very defiant. Like they are the thorn in the Targaryen side for hundreds of years. Like there's a lot of really cool shit about Dorne. And like
The snake in the grass, if you will.
yeah, the House Dane is very interesting. Like it there's a lot um oh, Dan, there is so much to learn about the houses. There is so much to know about the houses. There's a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what we can do for some future videos.
The houses.
Yeah, do a bit of the history of the houses.
Yeah, we could do that.
Now that so
Family is important in his world. It's very much based off of medieval Europe and um you know, maintaining your family's wealth and status and always trying to increase it. There's a lot of really cool stuff to dig into.
Castle Move. Oh, the
House Reed.
yeah, House Reed.
Yeah, House Reed is really cool.
It's where
Yes. Their castle moves. That's right.
Jojen
Greywater.
Jojen
Jojen
is
and
from.
Mira. Yep. Greywater is very cool.
I hear they eat frogs there.
I did that too. Um, Still waiting for Howland Reed to show up in the books. Just saying.
So, side note, frog legs aren't that bad.
Never tried them.
They're. I know
Yes,
everyone
sometimes to
says.
the detriment of logic, morality, and sexual appropriateness. That is correct, Dan.
I know everyone says everything tastes like chicken. Frog legs actually are chicken. Like they really do.
Can't say I wouldn't watch shows about quite a few houses.
Here's the thing.
There are so many. We could do some really good videos about quite a few of them, other than the big three.
Yeah.
Like, other than the big three, there are a lot of interesting, like, lesser houses where there's just some, like, really cool information out there about them. Like House Reed, as an example. House Dane, the Mormonts,
Right?
like
Do the next show, House of the Bear.
House of the Bear. That'd be cool. Like the Greyjoys,
Do the Tullys, House of the Fish.
House of the Fish,
Trout House.
Trout House.
Something I don't get.
The Baratheons, like the Baratheons do have a very interesting history.
Something I don't get about the prequels and how they did everything. I don't know why they started with they started in the middle of the Targaryen history with House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
And now they're talking about doing the Aegon's conquest.
Right.
I feel like they should have started with that, because then you could have like little mini series
Based on each
and
like
just
beat
go
of the
in
book.
time. Now they're going to be jumping around like in the history, and I feel like that's going to confuse people too. Now you're going to have to know this series takes place here and this one takes place here.
Yeah. I feel like the reason why they decided to do that was because they went through the content and were like, this has the potential to be the biggest success. Let's see if it works.
I agree. I also.
But the conquest could have also been really, really good.
That's what I was going to say. It's not like the conquest is boring. There are spots in Targaryen history where it is pretty boring.
It's a little bit of but you could do that as like an episode or two in a season to get to the next thing. Catherine is all about the houses videos. She's like, yes, do that. She's like, yes, I would watch these.
I'm totally down.
We are down. We can do that. We can definitely do that.
More approachable to a larger audience. Conquest might have been too complex. Yeah and no.
I mean, House of the Dragon, like the Dance of the Dragons gets pretty complicated. So I feel like the conquest wouldn't be any more complicated than the Dance of the Dragons.
Conquest is much less complicated because here everyone's diplomatic. I mean, during the conquest, it was, you don't agree with me? Fine, let me get my dragon. We'll settle this the old-fashioned way.
Pretty much, yeah. And there's a lot of action and stuff. Like, also, just want to see.
Less
I just want to
diplomacy
see.
and more, well, do what I say, otherwise I'm going to burn your castle to the ground.
I also just want to see Balerion.
I know, every series, they always tease us. Balerion, this skeleton. No, you can't see him yet. No.
Time. Nope. Not ready yet. I mean, we did get to see Vhagar, and I love Vhagar in House of the Dragon. I absolutely love her with her big pelican jowl neck thing. Like, love that dragon so much. Not quite as much as the long sausage boy, but
Definitely have to cover the Lannister house. The Lannister house would be very interesting. That'd be kind of like a
there's lots of really cool
arc.
There's lots of like just interesting stuff with House Lannister for sure. From like the legend of how they acquired Casterly Rock through to Tywin's like whole thing, the Reigns of Castamere
Or the
and
fact that their castle looks like a giant Bezos spaceship. Put it nicely.
I mean, it's kind of
Shading a little bit.
appropriate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's for them, it kind of makes sense.
And if anyone's wondering what I mean, in the world of Ice and Fire, we get to see the castle, and it looks a bit phallic.
It is a bit phallic. Right? The visuals of her in the storm clouds were so good. She was so scary. She was so big. Love her so much.
Right. And now imagine a dragon bigger than her, because Balerion was bigger.
Yeah, Balerion was bigger. And Balerion, when he died, was bigger than Vagar is at this point in the story. That, like, yeah.
And no one knows exactly how old Balerion was, because he was born on Valyria,
He was
and he
the
was
only.
the last one to be born there.
Yep, he was the only dragon left
But
that was born in
he
Valyria.
died approximately like 20 years after Vagar. I think she lived to be about a 180, and he was around 200, give or take. So it might have just been the age difference. But I do like the theory that because he was born on Valyria, he had a bit of a growth spurt. And
maybe
when
he grew bigger faster because he lived in
because he
Valyria.
was closer to the magic of Valyria.
The 14 flames and all that. Yeah. That could be. Maybe that's why he got bigger.
I really like thinking about that, because you think if that's the reason why Balerion was bigger, imagine if he grew up there. And you can think that Balerion and Vagar seem like these massive dragons, right? This is a dragon who eats other dragons like they're mythical animal crackers.
Right.
But what if
you could ride a horse down their throats?
But what if by Valyrian standards they were just average?
Right. How big were the biggest dragons? So Catherine says, how do the dragons in Game of Thrones compare to the Lord of the Rings dragons? So based on some measurements that I have seen, Balerion is not as big as Encalagon the Black. Supposedly, in literature, Encalagon the Black is the biggest dragon in literature. And Glaurung didn't have wings. He was a worm. Like a literal.
Super nerd specific here.
Sorry. And then Smaug was a teeny tiny bit big compared to the other dragons.
Wasn't Smaug still bigger than Balerion, though?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Smaug is actually kind of like in a scale of like famous mythical dragons. Smaug is rather small. The Game of Thrones dragon. Oh, the Game of Thrones. Oh, got you. I mean, Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion are still relatively small. At least where we are in the books. Like they're still. I mean, they're big, but they're not. Like Drogon's big enough for Dany to ride him, but he's not like a big dragon yet. Not by a long shot.
I mean, based on their age and stuff, if you wanted to, I mean, I think the show probably did an accurate job about their size, because they probably would have been as big as Caraxes or the other Syrax.
It did kind of seem like out of nowhere Drogon was huge, though.
Well, I think
like he did kind of get huge when they had that big battle where Jaime runs at Drogon and tries to attack him. It was so stupid.
But like a large amount of time passed, and Drogon was also the one. If you give dragons room to grow, they'll continuously grow. So he grew
like
faster.
Reptiles in that way. Yeah, and Drogon was not locked up like the other two, and was free to do whatever he wanted. There are multiple scales out there, Catherine. There are scales of like all the dragons from different books like lined up together. There's also a couple of scales out there of just the A Song of Ice and Fire dragons and how they compare to each other in size. Like they're all out there.
But Drogon is on the smaller end of the scale.
Yeah, Drogon is not even Drogon is not even bigger than like 70% of the A Song of Ice and Fire dragons. Like Caraxes was bigger, Cyrax was bigger,
I'm pretty sure like top three were Balerion, Vagar was next, very close,
and Meraxes.
Meraxes, and then I think Vermithor was number 4, or like Sheep Stealer, which are both dragons I think we will see in House of the Dragon.
We should see Sheep Stealer, we should see the Cannibal, and we should see Grey Ghost.
So
Canni-
yeah, like a
Cannibal,
lot
I
of dragons in
think.
season 2.
I think the Cannibal is bigger than Sheep Stealer. Oh, okay. Snake tattoo is very cool.
That's awesome.
I will tell Yorm, our lovely little man. Dragon tattoos are very cool. Um, we have not been
Yep.
talking about the other spin-offs. We've been talking about Dragon.
No, sorry. I just saw Dan say that's an in-depth D&D story. I missed it.
Oh, hognoses are so cute. Yes, when Damon was singing to that dragon, yeah, I like that too. That was good.
Noses are the ones that like play dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those
And they
are
got the
awesome.
tiny little face that's
Yeah.
just like smushed. They're cute. They're cute.
Yep, he was singing to Vermithor.
Vermithor. That's who we
That's the
believe
big
it
boy.
is, anyway.
No, it is, because if you have subtitles on when you watch that scene, it says Vermithor
Vermithor.
grumbles or
Oh,
roars or something.
spoiler
Yeah,
for people.
it was a little
Spoiler.
slip up there.
I mean, I didn't need the subtitles to figure it out, but still. Spoiler is a cool dragon. Like Vermithor is a cool dragon. So if you did the Conquest would be a really cool show. And then afterwards, you could.
Also, if anyone's wondering why Henry Cavill is in the thumbnail, it's because HBO talked about doing Aegon's Conquest, and they wanted Henry Cavill to come do the part because he was like left The Witcher around that time,
They want him to play
and
Aegon.
I think he would be great as Aegon.
He would be a good Aegon.
Like
Ah,
even just in the Witcher costume, like he looks like how I would picture Aegon.
see? And he
Just slap some like red on that black leather, and you're good.
and he's proven that he can wear contacts, so you can give him purple eyes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm here for it. The end of a huge dungeon in a frozen room. Oh, Dan is like on a D&D like campaign over here.
Feet in a 50-foot room. I would like to see some frost dragons. I still have
Ice Dragon would be really cool to see in the series.
I still have a theory about the ice dragon and how it could connect to
Winterfell.
Winterfell.
Yeah. Who would play the sister wives?
Sister Wives. Ooh.
Those are good questions. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to think about that. Um, yeah, I didn't think about it. Not Amelia Clark, because that would be weird. Um,
I was gonna say, but I mean, all Targaryens kind of look alike because they all interbreed. So
so Amelia Clark and like Millie Alcock.
yeah,
Like,
there you
ew,
go.
that's bizarre. That's so weird. Ew.
If you really want to make it weird, just bring Matt Smith back as Aegon.
I was gonna say have Matt Smith play one of the ladies.
Okay.
No, um, where is it? Oh, That's really yeah, that's hard. I don't know. Visenya is such Matt Smith and David Tennant be the sister wife. Um,
Me too, Dan. Me too. I always mix them up. I can't remember who's who. They
Visenya
did
is
really
like
good casting because they look exactly alike.
Visenya is like such a strong, slightly evil lady. Like she's hardcore. And then what's the other sister's name? Oh my god, I can't think. I can only think of her dragon's name. That's terrible.
I can't remember Targaryen's names. I'm not gonna lie, just because they all
Rhaenys.
sound the same.
Rhaenys is
Okay.
the other one was named Rhaenys. Um so Visenya was like hardcore warrior woman, and then Rhaenys was like softer and sweeter and supposedly Aegon's favorite because he visited her bed more than he visited Visenya's bed.
Basically, Sansa and Arya.
Yeah, kind of. If Arya did like magic
Yeah.
or was rumored to do magic, so like
Well,
you'd have to
you know what? Just real quick. Speaking of spin-offs, I want to see that one. Still, I will not be happy until we see it.
the Arya
Arya goes to a Shy by the Shadow. We see those adventures
going sailing across the sunset sea.
dealing in dark magic, and it could
I would.
honestly play out like a D&D movie or show.
Weren't they talking about doing an Empire of the Dawn show too?
They're talking about a lot of shows.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We don't. The only one we know is confirmed is Night of the Seven Kingdoms, season 2 of
House of the
House of the
Dragon.
Dragon, and I'm like 99% sure they'll do Aegon's Conquest because you're only going to get like one more season,
Out of
maybe
House of
two.
the
No, it's definitely going to be one, maybe a long season, but I think it can only go for one more season unless you pump it full of a lot of filler.
Yeah. 2 seasons. You could do it in 2 seasons, maybe. Just a longer season 2, maybe.
That's what I mean. It has to be a long season too. If you go for 3, it's just going to be too drawn out. I mean, they still might go
Because you
for it
gotta
just
hit the.
because
Well, you gotta
it's
hit
not
the.
like we're not going to watch it.
Well, yeah, but you gotta hit the. Don't fluff it up too much because, like, there are battles and politics and things, and you kind of want to space them out to make it flow. But you don't want to overkill it on one side or the other. Um. Oh, Dan had a thing for Millie Alcock,
Oh, really?
like Professor Garlic. He was into young Rhaenyra.
I gotta be honest, I didn't really have too many feelings for any of the characters.
Uh, how I felt.
You had a lot of feelings about that show.
Feelings about um a certain character or two on that show. So the eye candy was definitely there for me.
Yeah, the sister wives are hard.
They are hard. Um you could honestly cast like unknowns to play them. You could.
You could. I mean, look at
Um
Millie Alcock.
yeah, literally like her first second role ever. Emma D'Arcy the same thing like or no, the girl that played Emma D'Arcy plays old Rhaenyra. The girl that played young Alicent. Like both of them had never like really been in anything before, and they were great.
I remember one of them said that
It's because she's feisty, Dan. It's her personality.
they would never do another fantasy show or movie again because of it's just like crazy, like the hours and days, so many different costumes and
Oh yeah,
the
and
scale of everything.
yeah, it's a lot. You're sitting in a chair for hours before you even start acting.
Yeah.
You got to be up super early. Yeah. 'Cause you don't know you're not walking in with any expectations, like, when it's like, when you go see something and it's like, Nicole Kidman is playing this character. We already kind of, like, know who she is and know how she acts, so you kind of already are like, "Oh, I like that," or "I hate that for that character." But if it's someone you've never seen before, you're like, "Oh, this is interesting." You have, like, no expectations.
But
But, like, Henry Cavill playing Aegon, you were like, that's, like, solid casting, like, I could see that. If they get him to play the part, like, that's something that works.
just because we've seen him in a white wig before and does pretty awesome.
Is he gonna
Not to
is he gonna
mention,
be like, it gets to Harrenhal and, like, Harren the Black is like, "No, Aegon, F you," and then he's gonna be sitting on Balerion, and he's gonna go, "Mm, get that out, get
I mean, I think Henry Cavill can play more characters
I
than
know, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly. That's fair, Dan. That's what I mean. If you know an actor as, like, a very specific thing, sometimes it, like, gets in the way of
like you with Geralt of Rivia. You're just gonna be waiting for it every time Aegon grunts or says fuck.
like, "Ah, there it is."
There's the Geralt I know.
Yep, yep. Oh, I mean, in the Conquest, all the images that we get of Aegon, he has short hair, so he wouldn't have, like, the long Witcher hair. He would have to have, like, short blonde hair.
He does have short hair, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'm moving too much. Am I moving too much? That might be part of it.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I was also really quiet before when I said that thing. Like, I was whispering. So maybe it just didn't pick it up.
Maybe. They didn't change Matt Smith. Yeah. Well, I mean, he got a haircut here and there.
Yeah, I'm just glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't take him out either. Yes, dude is oh, so beautiful. Can't wait till season 2. Okay. Okay.
Here, we'll try that and see if that helps.
All right. Let me know if I sound better. Um
Definitely better with shorter hair. I think you agree.
yeah, I liked the shorter hair. Either way, I'm glad they didn't swap him out. It's a good choice. You know, when I read Fire and Blood, it was not what I pictured. And then I saw him and I was like, "Oh, oh yes. Oh yes, 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 yes. 1,000 times yes." Versus the Game of Thrones show and the Game of Thrones books. Like, the dudes that I thought were hot on Game of Thrones were the same dudes that I thought were hot when I read the books. Because sometimes the books don't match the description on the show. But it was pretty parallel. It was like, yeah, they hot in the books too. And the show.
Like when people got annoyed that the mountain wasn't big enough in the show.
Right, because in the books he's literally physically not real. Like, you can't have a person whose legs are the size of tree trunks. Like, it
You tell half
physically
Thor that.
can't
Half
happen.
Thor, yeah, you're just not big enough. I'm sorry, man.
Right? Like, what?
Gotta get up to 500 pounds before you can play this part.
Right, Dan. Yeah, he was good. He was way better than the first guy they picked.
Could he not have been big enough? I don't know. I think it's because his legs are supposed to be the size of oak tree trunks or something. Like he's supposed to be.
He's like 8 feet tall,
Myth-
9 feet tall. Like, he's a ridiculous size.
Yeah,
He's
the
literally
dude-
like 8 feet tall or something stupid, like ridiculously huge. And his legs are literally like this big around. Like, there is no human alive that is that size.
He's basically a mythical creature
Right?
in the books.
He's Grop. He's Hagrid. Like,
Yeah.
he's that big. Like,
Got some giant in him.
could be. You never know.
Yeah, speaking of the spin-offs, Knight of the Seven Kingdom.
Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I have not read those. I have not read the Duncan Egg stories. I hear they're very good.
I haven't read them either. Mostly because graphic novels just aren't my thing. I'm probably not going to read them either. But that's kind of a good thing. Cause
Knight of the Seven Kingdoms isn't a graphic novel. It's a novel.
I thought it was a graphic novel.
It's a novel. I mean, maybe there is a graphic novel out there, but it's a novel.
I'll look this up real quick.
It does, again, take place during the Targaryen dynasty, so you're kind of still going off of that.
I mean,
It's-
never mind.
It's basically a collection of stories, but like A Song of Ice
I'll
and
read it
Fire.
then. I thought it was a graphic novel.
No, but like A Song of Ice and Fire, it's not done.
Yeah, that's. You know what? I still might not read it because this will be my first chance to go into a Song of Ice and Fire show, not knowing anything, and I can just like enjoy it for what it is without
Well, I think,
constantly scrutinizing it. Like, oh, that's not canon.
yeah.
What? He's not supposed to look like that.
I do think the nice thing about Duncan Egg is, though, that they're stories, so each one is like a standalone. So, like, yeah, he's not done, but they're each their own stories, and they're basically like just Egg is Aegon, heir to the throne, and Dunk is this knight that like protects him, and it's basically like him and this knight just like go on these adventures through the kingdom. So it's like a adventure story, which I think would be a nice change of pace for what we get with Game of Thrones.
Kind of like season 1 of The Witcher.
Yeah, kind of like a just here's an adventure and we're gonna do it, and here's an adventure and we're gonna do it, and they're all like their own little standalone things. There's not like I mean, I feel like there probably is an ongoing plot that's coursing through it, but
there's definitely going to be, and they're gonna weasel that damn dagger in there somehow.
please no.
And that,
Please
you know
no.
what? Just that's another reason why I think they should have done Aegon's Conquest first, because I think it would have been less. It would have felt less shoehorned in if they like introduced the dagger in that way,
Yeah,
rather than just throwing it in.
like if you
Like,
showed
in the middle
Aegon
of
having the dream or
Targaryen story.
something.
Yeah,
Like if Aegon like had the dream and then told Rhaenys and Visenya about it or something. Like if it happened organically within the story. Or because the Targaryens leave Valyria in the first place because the daughter is having these dreams about the doom of Valyria, and that's why they leave. So it would follow that then maybe like Aegon is having these dreams about this thing and blah blah blah.
no,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's like these two dudes just going around doing stuff.
doing hero shit.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a dragon need to be slayed? Well, actually, that's my dragon. Leave it alone. It's gonna do what it wants. You know, I do have a confession.
Not at this point in the story, but
I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I thought his name was Duncan. Like Dunken.
oh, not Dunk.
I thought it was just Duncan Egg. Like Duncan Egg.
That you thought?
But
Oh, you thought
it's
that was
Dunk
one dude's name.
And Egg.
Yeah, Egg is Aegon,
Yeah.
which Maester Aemon talks about him.
Yeah. No, I
And
knew they were two different people, but I thought it was
Duncan and Egg.
Duncan and Egg.
Oh,
So I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Just had to get that off my chest.
I haven't watched the new Dune Part 2 teaser trailer. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know they released the
I
teaser
didn't know it
trailer.
was out. Oh my god, I gotta watch it. Oh my god. Now I have something to look forward to this evening. I didn't realize it was out. I am a huge fan of the original novel, which is why I liked Part 1 so much. So I'm really stoked to see Part 2.
The only 3.5 hour movie I've ever watched that didn't feel like 3.5 hours.
It went so fast. You do need to watch the new Dune. It is so good. It's so good. The only adaptation that really gets it.
Yeah. I would kind of compare it to maybe a Lord of the Rings adaptation. Like there were
Yeah, they got the
few
spirit
things
of it.
that they like clipped, but they made good choices about what they clipped out.
And they got the spirit of
Yeah.
the novel, I think, for sure. Yeah, because you got to cut something, but they made smart choices about what they cut.
And the sandworms just look freaking awesome. And
Oh my god, Shai Hulud looked so great.
I can't wait to see them just riding them.
Yeah.
Gonna be
Oh my
great.
god, I just want to see. Oh yeah, we have.
Oh yeah.
We have. My cat is stuck.
You having trouble up there?
I have to pee.
Okay. See if she wants to jump on your shoulder to get down. Maybe. No. Maybe she just wanted you to pet her. Give me attention. Forget about dragons. There is only cats. But I'm definitely gonna have to check out the Dune 2 teaser. When is that? That's November. That's supposed to come out, right? Lord of the Rings extended. Yeah, I mean, after you watch the extended versions, you really can't watch anything else. Again, I feel like Timothy Chalamet could play a good part in Song of Ice and Fire somewhere. Just a good all-around actor, from what I see.
Oh yeah, he could definitely be somebody.
Like even the futuristic. Yeah, it definitely is a good fantasy. I don't think they touch. The good thing about it is they don't go into too much detail about like the sci-fi and the futuristic tech. It's really just like, okay, so we have these smart people who help us travel across the galaxy, and they need drugs to do it. So we have this planet of drugs, but we have big ass worms that try to eat us. So there you go. That's basically Dune in a nutshell.
Well, and they do the politics of it.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Everyone, he who controls the spice planet controls the galaxy, because if you're running the planet with the drugs, you got all the power, and that's like the crux of Paul's whole thing. Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why it's such good sci-fi, because it's not about the tech. Because the whole thing with Dune is that thousands of years ago there was this thing called the Butlerian Jihad, where they destroyed like all the robots and thinking machines, so they don't have that stuff anymore. So there's not a lot of tech. It's all humans doing it. The Butlerian Jihad. So it's all humans. That's why you have the mentats, who are like these crazy intellectual people who are like human computers, because they don't have computers, because they had this big revolution and destroyed them all.
Yeah. And
No,
they need
Butlerian as in like butler, IAN. Like a butler, IAN. Yeah,
just human computers, and they need
there's an E in there, Dan. Butler.
the spice, which is farmed from Arrakis, which is described basically as cinnamon, but
Yeah.
it's more or less cocaine and sends their brains into overdrive and lets them travel through space.
Kind of. Yeah. It's a little more
Do the
complicated than that.
computations to travel through space.
The navigators use the spice to see the like map to where people need to go in space. Like spice unlocks prescience, which is a whole other thing, and it's part of why the Bene Gesserit are breeding people the way that they're breeding. Yes, spices produced by the sand. Like, there's a lot. I'm getting this is a Song of Ice and Fire conversation, and where we're talking about Dune, but spice is involved in every facet of the story, with the Bene Gesserit breeding and the Quasat Haderach. God, what Dune is not the thing to talk about right now. You can ask, Dan. Go ahead and ask. It's fine. Ask the question. Ask the questions. It's fine.
Going off topic here.
It happens. We were going to talk about prequels. We talked about dragons for like a half hour. It's fine.
Well, I mean, dragons do correlate with the prequels.
They are
I mean,
important.
if we want to talk about more dragons, I would say that Martin needs to write like the missing history. Someone finds the history book of Valyria, and we get to learn about Valyria up until the collapse or something.
That'd be great. I'd love that. More dragons, please. More dragons.
And learn about the dragon's origin story.
How are dragons born? Potentially dark blood magic.
So there was a gecko and a bad wizard.
They had a baby.
He was doing some crazy stuff, and a bat flew in as he was doing this crazy stuff.
And they all had a baby.
Dragon.
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Start reading Game of Thrones books again. Might read them alongside your guys' videos. Oh my god, yeah. The ones we never finished because we got the copyright strike, right?
Alright, we'll do the house videos.
We can do the house videos. Little histories.
Now that I'm finally done with the Horcrux video.
Well, we gotta do the dragon song too.
I forgot about the dragon song.
Dragon song. I wrote it. I just gotta practice it. Good luck, Catherine. You know,
it's worth it.
I thought about rereading them too, but
this is like the perfect time to start, because maybe by the time you finish, Martin will have released Winds of Winter.
I gotta finish his Dark Materials first.
I hate to be a pessimist, but I'm still convinced that no matter what Martin does, not going to live up to expectations anymore. He's waited too long.
I was talking about that at work today, and just basically what we've discussed multiple times, that how the show ends is how he intends to end it, and people hated it so much that now he's just like, okay, now what?
But I don't think the journey was what he pictured. So I think the journey is going to be a little bit different. Destination, same.
Probably the same, but yeah, the journey can be different. Well, because there's things that happen that are going on in the books that are never happened in the show that you have to
give Jon Snow some personality.
That'd be nice.
Don't just kick Tyrion to the side.
Well, Also, make Jon Snow different once he comes back to life. Because he's a zombie. Make him different. Because everyone that's resurrected is different from how they were when they were alive.
Really?
Catelyn is a lot different.
Well, that's because she sat in the water for like 2 days after her throat was slit.
That's true.
Who's
The
I
water
can't
addled her
think
brain.
of his name now.
Beric Dondarrion?
Yeah, he was the same.
Yeah,
he had a
that's
few boo-boos, but other than that,
a few boo-boos. All right, so Dan said, who is the fat, ugly, zit-covered guy in the first movie?
Baron.
The Baron. It's the Baron von
He's-
Harkonnen.
He's the big bad. So basically, he hates the Atreides, and he wants to eradicate them, and so he set in motion the plans that happened with how Duke Leto died, and everyone should have died, but
Paul and Jessica managed to escape.
yeah, and there's more
No,
to that than
the
meets the eye,
Butlerian
but
Jihad
that'll be it.
happened like thousands of years ago, like before the story of Dune takes place. Like the Butlerian Jihad was like crazy long time ago. Catherine is like, at least John should come back like angrier
Yeah, I agree. Like it would be
or more ruthless
yeah.
or something.
He's very timid now. He should come back as like, a more like a stronger leader.
Stronger leader.
Don't make him like go full crazy, but
But make him maybe more decisive.
Yeah.
A little more ruthless, a little more decisive. Yes, there's a lot of ancient history. If you read Dune, there's like a lot of history, backstory, all kind world building, all kinds of like really cool stuff.
Dune is like sci-fi Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, pretty much. It is sci-fi Lord of the Rings. There's just so much in there. And that's why I liked the movie so much, is because it is sci-fi Lord of the Rings, but they did a lot of showing and not telling with the movie. That really worked well.
Definitely, there are some good audiobooks out there.
For sure, yeah, listen to it. There's like I listened to an audiobook of Dune that was like had like 10 different actors in it, and they were all like playing the parts and stuff. Like it was pretty good.
You would think that was the case if you listened to Andy Serkis's
Lord of the Rings
his Hobbit.
or the Hobbit. Yeah, yeah. I really liked his Hobbit. It was really good.
You too. They keep taking it down from YouTube every time someone posts it. It's so good.
Let the people have it.
Cat came back.
Oh, thank you,
to kill a
Dan.
child in poor Brienne. Yeah. But I mean, in her defense, the last thing she saw before she died was her entire family basically being killed.
Yeah, it was a little traumatic.
Yeah. And then, let that stew in the water for a couple days. And
I'm a one-woman audio drama. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Gollum. Yeah, right. Riddles in the Dark is like one of my favorite chapters anyway, and then to listen to him do it, it was so good. It was so good.
the reboot, just do animated. Andy Serkis is the only voice actor.
Yeah, you
does
just hire
everyone.
him to play everyone. It's fine. Harry Potter animated. I'll play everyone.
There you go. See? Want to save some money, HBO?
Yeah, do it animated. I'll play everybody. Yeah, because they keep taking them down. Yeah, it was really good. His reading was really, really good. And I was like, yeah, we're going to read The Hobbit. And then I listened to that and I was like, I don't know if I could read The Hobbit after listening to that.
It's nothing against your reading.
He's just that good.
Yeah.
I know. It's... well, can't
He
compete
hit
with that.
perfection.
He
There's
did.
nothing you can do. He just bowled a 300. How are you going to beat him?
He is Gollum.
You can't.
He is Gollum.
Exactly.
Like, it's hard to compete with that.
Thinking Andy Serkis should play someone in one of the remakes or reboots of A Song of Ice and Fire, somewhere
Aw,
in there.
thank you.
I don't know who he would play
Oh,
though.
he could play somebody. Yeah, sure, for sure.
Well, I mean, if they do the conquests, well, no, I guess they wouldn't. You know, what would be really cool if they did the First Men. Get to see the Children of the Forest, the building of the wall.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bran the Builder.
Yeah,
That would be cool. That would be cool. I'd watch that.
get some history on like Weirwoods. Find out if Bran the Builder is Bran. There's just one
Well,
Bran.
does Martin even know that?
Good question. I'm
Like,
more and more convinced that Martin just makes it up as he goes.
well, he does say he's a gardener and just kind of lets his characters do whatever.
It shows, but it works too. So
You
I
know what
mean,
I
who am
miss
I to
about the
complain?
books? You know what I miss? Here's something about Winds of Winter. Um, Dance of the Dragons. Like, whatever book comes out. Um, I just Tywin Lannister isn't in the story anymore. And it bums me out every time I think about it. Just
Been out of it for like 2 books.
no, and I remember reading the last 2 books going, this would be better if he was here. I'm just saying. I miss him. I love that man. Feast for Crows and Dance of Dragons, I was just like, this is really good. I like this, but I miss Tywin Lannister. It's not the same without him. And then Winds of Winter is going to come out, and I'm going to be like, he's not in it anymore. I guess I'll just have to hinge all my hopes on Stannis being my form of entertainment.
If he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Maybe,
Don't.
I don't know.
Oh my god! If Stannis dies in the next book, I'm gonna be like, what do I have to look forward to? My favorite characters are just dropping like flies. This is not cool.
Tywin was great.
Tywin is like hands down one of the best characters in the whole series. He's if I had to pick like top 5 favorite characters, definitely top 5.
And I mean, not to spoil anything, but I mean, after Tywin dies in the books, like Tyrion starts becoming more and more of a Tywin.
Tyrion's character arc does go like, and it's great.
Like right in the middle of it. We're at a like breaking point with Tyrion where he's either going to like fall back towards like Tywin, where I think he's gonna be like Tywin, you know. Very strict, somewhat bad, but usually does it for morally right reasons in his favor, you know.
Right, or like Tyrion is at a point where he's
just gonna go like full evil.
Full evil, right? It's gonna be one or the other, which is kind of why we want the next book, because we would like, because he's definitely going down like true villain arc right now, but we're not there yet, so we don't know. Maddie says that my HP readings are better than the professionals, and that she can't listen to the other ones now. That is very, very flattering. Thank you so much. It was a deer. He's butchering the deer in the scene. I know what you're talking about. When Tywin's butchering the deer and talking to Jaime.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's close this out. Who are your top 5 favorite Game of Thrones characters? Let's close it out with that.
Top 5 favorite Game of Thrones characters?
Yeah, Song of Ice and Fire characters. Who are your top 5 favorites?
Oh, it's so hard. There's so many.
Thank you, Maddie. That's really awesome. Thank you.
Well,
I really appreciate that.
Tyrion. Honestly, Tyrion was my biggest gripe with the show. Just what they did to his character.
Oh my god, yeah, it's so bad.
Because he's such an amazing character, and then they just kind of sidelined him.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jon Snow makes my top 5, honestly. I mean, I like him, but I mean, what's his name? I'm just thinking of Duncan Egg now.
Dolores Ed.
Dolores Ed, yeah.
Yeah. Dolores Ed.
He is definitely in there.
He's great. He's so great.
Um, I honestly really started to like Jamie's character. Like, I really like his whole story arc. And again, he's another character that's kind of in the middle of his arc, where I'm starting to like him.
Right. He's halfway through his journey of
And
like
then, yeah,
becoming a good
I
guy.
think that's why like Winds of Winter is so hard to wait for, because so many characters are like,
Oh, and
they're in that phase where you don't know which way are they gonna go. They're
plus,
changing, but are they gonna fall back on their old ways, or are they gonna go? It's
and not for nothing, but this just Euron Greyjoy is gonna do some crazy shit, and I want to see it.
well, yeah.
Euron Greyjoy is gonna unleash some wild eldritch shit on Westeros, and I want to see it. Damn it. Anyway,
So who do I have? Dolores Ed, Tyrion,
Jamie.
Jamie, Arya.
Oh yeah, you've always liked Arya. Yeah,
Arya's just such a badass. Like,
she's a great character. She's a great character. And
and
Catherine
she's another one. She just left Bravos in the book. Like, she's about to go back to Westeros, and
yeah, and
Uh,
and hopefully it'll be better than what we got in the show. Because Jesus Christ, the plot armor and everything else. Oh my gosh,
she's gonna go feed some.
Catherine was just like, what was even the point of her becoming a faceless man? Because she didn't use it in the show. Like, she really didn't use it in the show.
I mean, she could have impersonated one of the Night King's like followers or something, and then stabbed them, or do something like that.
She just literally jumped out of nowhere
Yeah.
instead.
Like
Maddie's favorites are Jon, Danny, Tywin, Tyrion, and Arya. Catherine loves Tyrion and Brienne and Arya. Maddie also loves Brienne as well. Oh, you gotta pick one more.
Yeah, I do.
Arya, Jamie, Tyrion,
I'm leaning
Dolores
towards
said.
Danny, but you know what? She's in a character arc where I really don't like her right now.
A lot of people don't like the whole Marine thing.
Freaking boring. Just get out. It's gone on too long. Think about it. You start yours. I'll use my last one. Second.
Okay. Danny is one of my favorite characters. I love her. Tywin, for sure. Can I pick an animal? Is that okay?
Ghost?
No. Drogon. I love Drogon.
No, you can't, but that can be a bonus.
I really do like Jamie. Quite a lot. Cersei might be another one of my favorites. She's such a good character. I really like Cersei. I also really like Tyrion, too. All the Lannisters, I guess, are my favorites. It's what it sounds like. And a dragon. I mean, if I have to think about it, like, I really, really started to like Jamie quite a lot as the books progressed. I hated his guts in the first two.
I have my fifth.
Okay, so I gotta say it's probably Tywin, Jamie, Stannis. Love Stannis. Can't change my mind. Love Stannis. Could do a whole video about why I love that dude. Davos is so great too, though.
That's my fifth.
That's your fifth.
Yeah, that's
Davos.
my fifth.
Davos is awesome. Probably Tyrion.
Like,
I really do like Tyrion. And Danny. That'll be my five. That'll be my five for now. Unless I reread the books and change my mind.
All right. So mine was Jamie, Tyrion, Davos. What else did I say?
Arya.
Arya and Dolores Ed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love Davos. He's like an Eddard, but like smart.
Yeah,
He knows how to temper his
yeah.
morals.
Yeah, he can sense when shit is like, oh, now is not the time for this.
Yeah. Maybe I should go along with this plan and not get my head cut off.
Yeah.
That might work out better for me in the long run.
Maybe it's all the years of smuggling and actually being a douchebag.
Yeah.
That have paid off.
He didn't live in a heated castle all his life.
No. But on that note,
the Onion Knight was the greatest. That's right. Where would Stannis be? He'd be dead.
Oh, I agree. He needs the man. But that's what's so great about Stannis. He recognizes he needs Davos. He's like, I need you. You're the dude. He knows. Stannis knows what's up. He values people.
Jaime grew probably more than any other, but then the show fell apart, shows his darkness. Yeah.
Yeah, his whole, like, I have to go back to Cersei thing, just, ugh.
You know who else has a great character arc, and I am pleasantly surprised? Sansa.
Sansa, yeah, she's not one of my favorite characters, but her arc is good. It's really, really good.
She's another character that is just started coming up.
Yeah.
And then it ended.
Yep.
Because up until this last book, Dance of Dragons, hated her. I dreaded Sansa chapters.
Oh my god, I know.
But by the end of Dance of Dragons, I was like, all right, not bad.
All right, getting better. This whole thing with the veil and all of this is getting interesting. All right. Well, we don't know what happens with Stannis and his daughter in the books. She's gonna die. Yeah, she's gonna die. But we got to see how it all plays out. Either way, Stannis the Manus. I still love that dude. I feel like part of the problem with Stannis is he's on sarcasm and it hasn't been invented in Westeros yet. So he's cracking jokes and no one gets it. That's why he's pissed off all the time, because no one gets it. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my butt right now.
I think he's pretty serious most of the time.
Yeah, probably.
Are there any prequels that we missed?
I don't know.
I mean, kind of the Jon Snow show. I still think they should go with Arya instead of Jon Snow, not gonna lie. I mean, he's gonna go beyond the wall. Okay, that's cool. Show us some frost giants, some frost spiders and stuff, but we already know what's up there.
You could do a lot more with Arya.
Shadow of the Shy.
You could do a lot more with Arya, because she could go to a lot more places that that have already been established that we know about.
See some crazy stuff. She could go to the Basilisk Isles.
Yeah.
Maybe run into Salazar while she's there.
Maybe. On that note, though, I think we ought to call it good.
Calling on that?
I gotta eat.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm hungry.
All right,
sorry.
Well, good talk.
Yes, it has been lovely chatting with all of you.
We actually didn't get too
we didn't get too No, we didn't. We kind of generally talked about what we wanted to talk about today. So, that's good.
Not to mention, Horcrux video should be up before Sunday, which we will stream, and we will talk more about how Horcruxes are made.
Yes, so see you this weekend for some Horcrux conversations. And keep an eye out for that video. Let us know what you think.
Have a great night. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you then.